And so question 9 is also about knowing a definition. So in this question, we need to know the definition of what a scale factor is. So a scale factor is just whatever you need to multiply every side of one shape by to get another shape. So let me give you like a concrete example. Suppose I had I'll go with the square, just to make things a bit easy. Right, suppose I have the square and I have a second square. Suppose every side of this square was, say, 5, and every side of this square was 20. So to get from 5 to 20, we would just have to multiply by 4. So we'd say the scale factor between kind of like the smaller square and this bigger square would be 5 to 20, which we can easily reduce down to 1 to 4. That's what that 4 represents, the scale factor. Now, we do have to be a little bit careful about working with the right units here, right? I didn't define units for this 5 and this 20, so we're kind of assuming that they're the same thing: feet, inches, light years, whatever units we're measuring that distance in. But notice here, we don't have that, right? I have millimeters and I have centimeters. So at this point, it really becomes a conversion question. We need to know how many millimeters are in a centimeter, or vice versa, how many centimeters create 1 millimeter. So if you're unsure, or I don't know how you would know this without kind of like looking it up, so you might know that 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. So that's going to kind of be our conversion in a second. Or, I mean, you could also think about things in terms of like a common unit like meters. So we know that 100 maybe centimeters equals 1 meter. 1,000 millimeters are equal to 1 meter. So this would be like saying 100 centimeters are equal to 1,000 millimeters. And this also creates a scale factor, a ratio. So you could divide both sides by 100, and we would get 1 centimeter. 1,000 divided by 100 gives us 10 millimeters. All right, so either way, we have to know a centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters to really do this question effectively. So let's think about this question now in terms of the same units. I have 9 millimeters for every 2 centimeters I have. So I'm going to turn everything into millimeters just because I like working with the smaller units. So if I have 2 centimeters, I know that for every 1 centimeter I have, I really can think about having 10 millimeters. Our centimeters cancel. 2 times 10 is going to give us 20 millimeters. So we could think of this as 9 millimeters to 20 millimeters. And then once we get everything in the same units, 9 and 20 don't have any common factors. I can't divide anything nicely. So we could say the scale factor is either going to be 9 to 20, or if you're really being fancy and you want to work in units, right, you could divide both sides by 9. You could say 1 to 20 divided by 9. A little bit less common at this level, but as you get further on in math, you start to see things written out that way with 1 to some, fraction, because, the further you get in math, the less scalar fractions you should end up being.